Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about why you should become Google AdWords certified. First of all, it's in my opinion not too difficult, especially if you do work. It's just kind of depressing if you don't pass the first time, but that's definitely okay. Becoming Google AdWords certified and PPC, it's kind of like the most basic level in my opinion. So I would never hire someone who could not pass the test because the test is not that hard to pass in my opinion. So becoming Google AdWords certified will allow you to become a Google partner if your spend is good enough, and that'll allow you to get free Google merchandise and be part of the community and just a lot of cool stuff like that and get better. There's kind of like the base level of learning that you need to really increase your level of education to the point where you actually are good at AdWords. The certifications also don't expire within, they take like a year or two to expire, so it's not like you have to take them continuously. But by taking a new one, you might learn something that you didn't know, and that's very good. It's, I think, probably the correct business model or correct model for most learning. Same with law school, same with being a lawyer or a doctor, you have to do continued education. And this is a way that Google makes you do continued education because if you're normally in marketing, you don't need to take additional classes, you don't need to go to additional, like CPAs have to go to continued learning. And continued learning is not something that is prevalent among developers, social media people, definitely not. They don't want to do continued learning most times. And it's not prevalent among AdWords unless they force it upon you. And it's nice that Google and Bing also wants you to retake the test. So becoming Google AdWords certified, it's kind of something cool to put on your resume. And then since there are 7 certifications, there are these 6 ones on AdWords, and then these 7th on analytics, and then an 8th on Bing. So you have 8 certifications, which you can add as 8 different lines on your resume, and that, in my opinion, looks fantastic as someone who does interview, and I did hire a lot of people, and actually I laid off a lot of people, so that's interesting as well. But for the most part, it's definitely a resume booster. It's a good, even if you're not going into marketing, it's a good thing to talk about because people see Google AdWords and they're like, oh, so you're Google certified. And that's something the same with Google Partners. Very few people know what Google Partners actually is. Like if I had to take a poll of my clients and ask them how difficult it was to get Google Partners, most of them would probably feel like it was a lot more difficult than it actually is. I'm not saying getting Google Partners is not difficult, but it's relatively easy. You have to spend a bit of money, then you have best practice, and then you have to take and pass a minimum of 2 tests. So it's pretty, it's nice. I know that we were at one of the conventions at NADA, and we were promoting that we're Google partners. And then for the majority of the people, we had a really nice booth, by the way. They felt that being a Google partner meant that Google Ventures invested in you. And then obviously we had to explain that's not correct because we're looking for you to invest money in us. So please give us money. But the large majority of people and clients have no idea what Google Partner is. They don't know what Google certification is, and they overvalue it, in my opinion. Because relatively, you sit down for maybe half an hour right now. I can take a test in 20-25 minutes, maybe half an hour at most, depending on if it's mobile or YouTube. Those 2 take longer for me, and pass. Pass with like a 90-95%. And not really even just like, answer. So relatively, if you're dealing with someone who is an expert or who is very good at it, it's very simple. And getting the certifications, getting the partnership, being part of the community, getting more awards like top content creator, that's all really stuff that really builds up your resume in marketing when in fact, that's the only thing that exists. There's no true, like when you have to become a lawyer, you have to take the bar exam. When you have to be a dentist, you have to take dental exams. Medical, you have to talk to the medical board or something like that. The same with, as being a CPA. And people audit your record. along the way. But for an agency, for a personal PPC specialist, for the most part, they are not audited by outside companies, right? When I was a comptroller, we were audited all the time. We had to hire Ernst& Young, and then people had to come in. And there was this other really annoying company we had to hire all the time. I forget what their name was, but they also have a huge place in Houston. And a lot of people were NYU grads from that place in Houston. So that was why I remembered them. Really annoying place. I really didn't like those people. But you have to hire outsiders to audit your work. That is atypical in marketing. In marketing, everything is kept in-house. Just like development, developers believe that other developers will hate the work they do, and that's pretty much true. I've never really had a two similar level developers like each other's work. Now, if it's a senior and a junior developer, yeah, the junior developer might be like, "Oh, this is amazing work," but the senior one is not going to say that to the junior one ever. Anyway, that's it. Bye, guys.